Now, let's proceed to the disadvantaged children. Let's get to know about this disadvantage. What are the disadvantaged children? So, disadvantaged children means children who in their backgrounds are socially or culturally deprived to such a degree that without supplement facilities and services they cannot profit in the regular school program to the same extent as children with normal background. So, for the students who have culturally belief, it will going to affect them through attending school. It is because the parent will going to the parent will going to like believe that attending school is not important because of the belief and the culture. Also, disadvantaged students are those who have hindrance to excelling in school because of the detrimental circumstances beyond their control. There includes financial and social hardship as well as problem with the students' families. So as you can see, financial is very common reason for not attending in school. Also the family problem. Because of this reason, the students will affect her or his study because it will going to affect her or him in order like physically or emotionally. We're going to stress out and in the result the student will not going to go to school. So in language efficiency, this investigation examined the extent to which culturally disadvantaged children are recruited in language development compared to the other children. Subject were 53 children between the age of 48 months and 67 months. 40 who were considered culturally disadvantaged. All, all children were given the test of psycholinguistic abilities and 50 utterance were elicited from each child. As has been hypothesized, or virtually every test, the cultural disadvantaged children scored significantly lower than did the other children. So the culture really affect the children's study. It is because some of the culture um, they have their, for example, in language, they have their own language that they are using. So if a teacher were going to speak English, that students who are not um I mean didn't learn English, he or she will not going to understand the English language because he was um he was considered only learning about for example Bisaya. So because of that, there we can call it disadvantage of the language, and the children will going to affect it, especially in her study. So how we can help the disadvantaged children? First, offering the right education from an early age. So the students will going to attend school in a right age. Like for example, in the preschool, I think the right age in attending school is 5 to 6 years old. So that the children are going to learn more early and have a proper the teacher will going to teach it in the proper way based on their age. Second, teaching at the right pace. So the teacher, it will going to depend how will the teacher teach that students. So the teacher is a big role for teaching the children. Building relationship with children and families. So yes, because of the family distance, the family gap, there are many so-called disadvantages children. Because if a student don't have a good relationship of the family, for sure the student will going to have a reason to stop or or Allow me to speak in vernacular. Magpabaya na hinuon ang isa ka estudyante tungod sa gap ug problema sa pamilya. And fourth, support of learning resources to children. So support of the children is really needed to be able we can help them and even in that simple way. And lastly, exposure to extra things. For example, like activity like going PE activities, the student will really going like required to attend to be able like attending an activity. It will going to help the students physically and emotionally. You know, it will going to help them, and because of that, the student will going to have a new seeing in her future and or in her studying because they will going to think, oh, studying is not all about like learning how to speak in English, learning how to solve, but also studies it is also have an activities that will going to make them like happy or make them bubbly in even like one time or like once a week, something like that. So the inspection handbooks define disadvantaged pupils are those with special education needs and disabilities who meet the definition of children in need of help and protection, receiving statutory local authority support from a social worker. So, student with disability is considered disadvantaged pupil because they have needs in education and also to the students who are need protection like for example because they have their disability, I'm sure their classmate will going to bully them. So because of that bully, that student really need a protection to be able to have like concentration for studying. So I think that is the disadvantage that we can call the disadvantage pupil, those students who are disability or educational needs.